my channel. This is Jace and we're on Girl Talk from the Kitchen. If you're just joining for the very first time, thank you very much for joining, for choosing to spend your time and most importantly, like I always say, your data. Thank you so much. So today we're on EJ Love, our Valentine special. If you're Nigerian and you understand Igbo, you'd agree with me that EJ means journey. So today we're going to be listening to someone's love journey. You know I always like to say the once upon a time, and you love to listen. Now on today, our topic is, can love be this good? Yes, you heard me. Can love be this good? Now the thing is, we always hear people talk about disappointment, how this lady's heart was broken, the man walked away, the lady treated the man so badly, and that's all we hear. I mean, social media helps, spread this negative news. And you'd agree with me that on good love stories are very scarce. I mean, we don't get to hear them again. And today we've decided to share with you and let you know that love can be really good. So we're going to be hearing from my guest, who's going to be taking us through her life, and you're going to hear her love story that would leave you that's exactly how I felt when she told me her story. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the short break. Welcome back. Alright, so now it's time to reveal my guest. And she's none other but a beautiful Cynthia Yinkere. I'm excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Come. My viewers would like to hear from you. Tell us about you. Who are you?
Cynthia Yinkere is a very vibrant personality. I am a customer experience consultant, which means I love to monitor how people treat their customers, and I try to train organizations to treat customers well. And I always say it's not really about customers, it's about stakeholders. So everybody in every situation and every institution, so even in the family, I feel everybody deserves respect every once in a while. I also am a teens teacher and mentor. So in my local church, I have teens that I teach, I mentor, and I coach. But aside from that, I'm a creative person. I like to dance, I like to sing, I like to draw. So I can say that generally I'm a romantic at heart.
Wow.
I'm one who just wants the world to be a better place, filled with love, joy, and peace. I'm not perfect, but I know that in the little things I do in school, at work, at church, or the ministry, I just want to show and spread love and joy.
Wow. Wow. What better guest for this show? I mean, someone who's a romantic at heart. Okay, if you're just joining, this is Jace and this is EJ Love. Today we'll be hearing Mrs. Cynthia's love story, and you heard her. She's a romantic at heart. So yes, take us down memory lane a bit.
So when I said I was a romantic at heart, I guess I was always a romantic, but coming from my childhood, I would say that what I saw about love stories and romance was what I read from books. I wouldn't say that I saw it actually around me. I wouldn't say that I saw a lot happening with the people I knew, and I guess I knew within me I just wanted a very different story. So at this point I would say that it really doesn't matter what your experience is, you have to confess and profess what you want, despite the fact that there are always theories around nurture or nature affecting your destiny. You can do what you want to do about it. You can sort of define it in your own way. When I started out as a young adult, I had this dream, and I had this, what I would say was a conviction. I told myself I was going to be swept off by probably somebody, one man, and I was going to ensure that that was the man I would marry.
Okay, so swept up by one man and ensure that that was the man you would marry.
Yeah.
I think that was something those days.
Yes, yes. I mean, excuse me for using the very popular teenage or young people slang now. You know how you say, oh, you have a count of exes. I was at that age, it was very weird, but at that age, I was so fearful of that notion of having 3, 4 exes. I wanted one person to know one person, marry one person, and live the rest of my life with one person, you know. But there was also that thing behind me, because I was a strong-willed woman. I was what you might call a strong female character. Still am. But I think it was really misguided at the time, because it was such that I wanted to have this dream and this theory of being swept off my feet by one person, but I also wanted to be in control.
Okay.
So I wanted to be in control in the sense that whilst I was going to pursue love, I was also going to have a backup plan. Is that possible? Can you pursue love and still try to plan for contingencies? I don't know. I mean, maybe the viewers might want to answer that in their own private time. So I wanted to have this power to be able to walk out when I could, if it didn't work out. So yes, I was a romantic, hopeless romantic, but I always wanted to have that reality part of me ready for any disappointments. So I guess that was my first journey into relationships.
Okay, so you wanted to have one person, love one person, or fall in love with one person, get married to that one person, and live the rest of your life with that one person. But then somewhere, little Cynthia told herself, if it doesn't work, I will walk away.
I will walk away, and I wanted to be so I worked at being so successful, even in school, and trying to be like that in my career, just to be independent enough to walk away if I needed to walk away. Why? Because I realized around me that the concept of love was quite dependent, or should I say the concept of marriage and relationships were quite dependent on the dependency of either man or woman. Okay. So I saw marriages being forced to stay as marriages, whether or not they were working or not, just because either the women didn't have enough power, didn't have enough resources to leave the marriage, or for the male, it was basically just the concept of a homemaker around to take care of you and just manage it, or not necessarily because of love. So I also had that behind me. So you see how even though I had a dream, I had a goal, I also saw that around me and said, okay, if ever this was not to work out, I was ready for whatever contingencies would occur. And I guess that's how I started.
Okay, so I would like to say that that I've heard that from a good number of women. So I think that somewhere, somehow, we peaked that somewhere growing up, because the truth is I've spoken to a good number of girls, women, and even young girls today, and some of them have this, they still have, you know, that the mindset you had
At that
the
time.
young Cynthia had at that time. So I think someone somewhere said it, but we don't know who. But I think we all kind of had that mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question, but before we go to my question, because I like to let my viewers know, you know, so on this edition, we're looking at, can love be this good? Can love be this good? So I know that Cynthia started from, you know, her mindset as a child, but I need you to know that what we're treating is, can love be this good? Now, this woman, or the little Cynthia you just heard about, will soon get to the old Cynthia, I mean the Cynthia today, who is having a very wonderful marriage relationship with her husband. I mean, the kind of story that will keep your mouth open, like, yes. So we'll be right back after this short break. Please don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Girl Talk from the Kitchen, and I'm Jace. Today is our Valentine special, EJ Love. We've been hearing from Cynthia Yinkere, and she's told us a bit about her, you know, journey, love journey, how it all started. Well, not really, how she formed a mindset, you know. And so we want to hear from Cynthia now. So you talked about having that mindset of, you know, falling in love with one man, getting married to him, and living with him for the rest of your life. So what was it? The relationship, the very first relationship you got into, is that the relationship you were in at the moment?
No, actually.
Okay. So can you tell us what changed then?
Okay. So I think I would first start by saying that that mindset was probably not a very smart mindset to have, because it wasn't all in. There was a resistance at the time of giving my half and not my all. No, it wasn't. It's not the relationship I am in now, and it lasted really long. And now looking back at it, I think it lasted because I kept struggling to make sure that I kept to my conviction.
I knew that was going to be an issue.
I could see signs, and I kept overlooking those signs and hoping that I would prove myself right and prove everybody wrong, and ensure that this conviction I made for myself worked. So it lasted over 6 years. And the longer it lasted, the more I told myself I was deep into it, and so I couldn't leave, I couldn't go out of it. But I'm happy that something happened. Along the line, it became a long-distance relationship.
Okay.
And with long,
so it didn't start as a long-distance relationship?
No, it started way back when we were in school. Okay. And I was so sure that I was not going to have a trail of exes, so I was going to keep that relationship. And over the years, I realized there were some statements made and some attitudes I saw that was the warning sign to why I would need my contingency plan. But I had a contingency plan, so why was I worried? I mean, if it didn't work out, I really tried. I was going to tell the world, hey, Cynthia tried. And so I just kept on at it. Like, at that time, the contingency plan sort of let me, or assured me that maybe love was not ever going to be perfect. So I could actually go into an imperfect relationship and have this plan and still be all right. Okay. In came who I presently am married to now. I think the long distance relationship was the true test of the strength of the relationship. And whilst I could see the signs, I left my heart open for any opportunities for real love. And when my husband came around, I was also still in that mindset of nothing ever works anyway, but let's see how it goes. And I remember the first day he said he loved me, I was like, no, let's not use those words very flippantly, because I still had that notion that what we were calling love was not really love. It was just people wanting to try and recreate something they had seen maybe in the movies or in books or old folk tales, you know. And I remember saying, well, if you really want to start this relationship, I still am in another relationship. I need to.
Oh, you were?
Yes, I still was, but I mean, I had already started getting the attention of my present husband, and I said to myself, before we go any further, I need to cut it off with this person and see how this goes. So it was me just for the first time opening my heart and allowing that conviction to ebb away. And I remember, because then we had Yahoo Messenger, so it was really a long time ago. There were no phones per se. I remember going to a cyber cafe and typing out, hi, I'm realizing this is not working. What do you think about it? And he was like, oh yes, I've been trying to tell you for so long. After 6 years, my heart literally broke. Even though we were trying to break up, it was like the scale just fell out of my eyes. And see, I had this shiver down my spine saying, Cynthia, you have had to live your life, the rest of your life, with this attitude and this personality. And I was happy. It was a bittersweet feeling because it was like a release. For the first time, I said to myself, Cynthia, you can't create theories on your own and just require it to work. There are other factors involved. And so we started out, and we kind of...
Sorry, Cynthia, let me just be sure that my viewers heard that. So you said after 6 years of dating your first, and so you sent him a message, an email, right?
A chat. Well,
okay,
chat. So it was online, real time.
Okay.
So I chatted. He responded,
and you told him.
I said, is this really working? I mean, I don't see that this is working, because we quarrel quite a lot across the ocean, if you let me say that. And we're having one of our general regular spats, and he goes, yes, I've been trying to tell you that for a long time.
He's been trying to tell you that
for a long time.
And he's never said that before?
No. Not in those words, you know. I wasn't so gullible to stay in a relationship that I knew I wasn't respected and appreciated. I mean, there were quarrels, but quarrels are quarrels. Friends, people quarrel, sisters quarrel, brothers, family quarrel. So, you know, I know there were conversations about what he wanted to do versus what I wanted to do. I wanted a family settling down. He wanted to go for his career to the highest level possible. I know we had those differences, but I still felt we could make it work, and I worked at making it work.
Okay, so we're back now. He says he was relieved that he wanted.
Yes, he was
always
relieved.
Wanted to tell you that.
Yes, he was actually relieved about that, and for the first time I said, okay, let's move. So we moved on. I started receiving the attention of my current husband, and I realized the difference was clear. There was a warmth about him, there was a respect about him, there was a calmness, a patience about him. But I was still who I was. I was like,
yeah,
you know, get ready, something nice, you know. And I was about to, at this time, after about a few months, maybe 9 months, I was about to travel myself. And here I was saying, oh my goodness, another long distance relationship. The last one didn't work, this might not work, what's going to happen? But at that time, he hadn't proposed. I was slightly worried because I was like, that one didn't work. If we had probably got together before he left, maybe we'll be married now. But then again, I shrugged it off and said, Cynthia, remember that was a good sign that we weren't engaged to him as my ex. And something interesting happened the night before I finally was to leave. Because I was so sure, oh, this relationship was over as well. And he got down on one knee in front of his family and friends and made the proposal. And it was shocking. It was shocking because we were all out and it was not definitely, we were all out for a totally different reason and not for the proposal. And he just did it. And I was like, I had this sigh of relief, despite the fact that I was still shocked that he actually finally made the move. And he making the move just showed that he knew what he wanted and he wasn't going to let it go. So I think that was my first sign that, okay, this person really loves and appreciates and is not going to take a chance.
So how long was this, was the courting? How long did you?
Interestingly, before the proposal, it wasn't really like, it wasn't a relationship, it was just a courting. It was just friends and so that was why it was really, is it a relationship, isn't it? I even one time had to say, I don't know what we are, I'm very logical, so I was like, he says, just let your heart flow, and just let your heart flow. I was like, what is this man talking about?
Okay, please allow me to ask questions, because I'm very sure that you want to hear my questions and get the answers. So the thing is, so we have this thing, girls, women, especially women who are, who want to get married and settle down, have children and family and all. So we have these questions that we always say, so if we're just friends, we don't know what we are, maybe I should move to someone else who knows, who probably has it all defined. Yeah. So it wasn't defined at then.
At the time, it wasn't defined. It wasn't defined. So when, it wasn't, for the first 5 months, it wasn't defined. I remember asking that question.
Okay,
finally,
5 months.
Okay. Asking, so who are we and what are we? And I think men have this joke where they say, why do women ask that question? So he did the same thing and said, why do you need to have a defined title about what we are? Why don't you just let your heart flow? So that was how that conversation went.
Let your heart flow.
Just let your heart flow. And I remember that. I remember the actual venue and scene of when it happened. And I was like, let my heart flow. I mean, I didn't want to sound desperate, but I was like, let my heart flow. I was like, you can call it what you want to call it. I was like, call it what I want to call it. But I could see that it was more in his actions than in his words.
Please say that again. It was more in his actions than in his words.
Because after that statement, I could have been like, this person is not serious.
True.
And you could have one or two men who would have just been using that as a way to play around and not be boxed up. But it wasn't, the response, when he said it, it sounded genuine, and it wasn't a way or an excuse to allow him be fluid. It was really just him saying, I'm not, and he's really not a man of many words. He's a very action-oriented person, so his love is really in showing it and all. Although he does say it once in a while, but at the time, he was like, just let your heart flow. Whatever you want us to be will be. I was like, okay. So when we had the conversation about me leaving, I know he was a bit worried, and we just let that be. So the proposal was still a shock to me, because every conversation was really like leading to a what if, and the proposal came and I was like, finally, when?
Wow.
From an if to a when.
From an if to a when. Wow. Okay, so I know viewers are like, okay, so where is the and all of that right now? Until listening to this woman. So there was this guy, like you all have, the truth is someone told me, when people ask us, when is the man, when are we coming for your wedding? And I'm like, I don't know. When people say, she was telling me, when people say, I don't have anyone, it doesn't mean that there is no friend, no male friend. Or,
exactly.
There are so many, but no one is serious, or no one has, shown or said anything or defined what they're into.
Exactly.
And this is Cynthia, who also had that. And today she's married to him. So who knows? Okay, so let's go a bit spiritual now. Was there any hearing from God? Any audible voice? Cynthia, that is your husband. Or was there something?
I don't want to disappoint your viewers,
Okay.
but I will try to be as honest as I can.
I mean, we like real stories.
Was there any voice from God? At that time, I wouldn't say there was an audible voice from God.
Okay.
What I would say is that even from my last relationship, I could see God guiding me in little ways. So the voice of God sometimes is not in a loud, audible voice that says, Samuel, Samuel. It could just be Him guiding you, ensuring you don't make certain mistakes. So was God with me all the way? Yes, He was. Because I remember the statement that said, I have been letting you, I've been trying to tell you this while. Being that first sign, that first warning, that first pulling me out of something that was going to be damning for the rest of my life. That was God. Him, my current husband coming my way at the time that he did, that was God. I remember saying that I was going to stay back after my master's and probably look for what to do. Probably would have still been in that scenario. So the proposal coming at the right time, when I could have just said to myself, oh, I'm starting a new life in another country, that was God. And he was a God-fearing man, so I think that was God as well. He was a God-fearing man, and he was just a different person. And his friends and his family always said that. They always said he was different, he was special, they were glad he was going to get somebody that would really take care of him. And honestly, he had his own, what's the word now I would use? His own share of hurt relationships. Okay. So we're both coming from a place of we really wanted to make it work. Okay. And we're both Christians. And we're both conscious of the God factor in that relationship. Remember, every Christian relationship is three people. Sure. Three-fold cord is not easily broken. Sure. So yes, that was God all the way. Did I get the voice? Not really.
I think that's the thing. Some people will tell me, I've not heard from God. God hasn't said anything. So you hear it. I mean, I've heard a good number of women say the same thing, and men too, that there was no marry so and so, but I mean, He always leads us, right? Yeah. And the telltale signs, they're there. Yeah. You can see them. Sometimes He highlights them to warn you, But the truth is, God will always support you in the end. So if you finally jump into something, His grace is sufficient, right? Yeah. But the earlier we, make the decision ourselves. I mean, the pastor once said that God is no longer in the business of telling people. So Cynthia, this is your husband. Joy, this is, because of what happened to Adam and Eve. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard it time and again. And I want to agree, because when Adam fell and God said, what have you done? He said, the woman you gave me, right? You know, so that's a man just talking about it, because that's what we would do.
Yeah.
So if I give you something and you use it and something bad happens, you'd say it was what you gave me, right? So okay, so we would like to know how good is this love? I mean, but we'll come back after this short break and we'll get to hear from Cynthia two things now. How good is this love and what has changed? That strong personality, that Cynthia, who would, if it's not working, I'm out. So what happened to her? Who is she now? How has that changed? And the big question, how good is this love? We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm Jace, and this is Girl Talk from the Kitchen. Today we are having EJ Love, and we've been hearing from Cynthia. I mean, we've all been smiling, even the guys behind the camera. I mean, they've all been smiling. Okay, so Cynthia, this is where we, get to hear how good this love is. But before then, which should we do first? You say, which should we do first? Should we talk about how good the love is, or we should talk about Cynthia today, the change? What has changed about her? I think it's a good love. I think it's got the beats to the change. So let's talk about how good the love is. So yes, how good is this love we're talking about?
Okay. Earlier I talked about trying to be honest. I'm not trying to create an ideally perfect scenario or woman. So going into the marriage, because we finally got married about a year after the proposal, and we survived the long distance relationship. We sent letters, and it was hard, but it was worth the wait. It wasn't a magic pill, so it wasn't like I got married and immediately the conviction left. I still entered the marriage slightly wanting to always be sure that I could just be independent if anything happened. And I think this is where I would give my husband all the props and kudos. He was so patient with me. I think for the first 2 years, I was resisting the free flow of my all in the marriage.
Wow.
I still wanted to have that portion that was still slightly in control in case anything happened. I didn't want to give my all. Even though, like I said, I was the plus romantic. I was the one who would want to have the candlelight dinner, stay at home and just cuddle. But there was still any quarrel or any disagreement would be independent enough to stay by myself. But my husband has been patient, and I think that's where the love started to change me. I started to see patience personified. I started to see the love that Christ actually requested of us to have, like he had of the church. I remember one incident where my husband said, this marriage is for better, for worse. I'm not going anywhere.
Wow.
So we better sit down and agree on what it is that we are disagreeing about. I know there was another, there were many other scenarios where we would have quarrels, and in the morning he would just act like nothing happened. I know women now, we would carry like, can you remember what happened yesterday? How could you just act like nothing happened? And he'll say, is that why you're still angry? Okay, sorry. I think no marriage is perfect, and we've had our ups and downs. But one thing has stayed true. He has been consistent in ensuring that it is us first before any other thing. I mean, there are times when I probably have cried, or why did he say it like this, or why did he do it like this? But I'm sure not because I haven't done the same to him, because men too are just not as expressive. I'm sure there are times when I've done stuff to him that have hurt him, but I think we have learned to understand and forgive each other. And that's something I might need to just say at this point, that the marriage is swimming in such love and warmth is not because we didn't put in work. There was work, active work put in. And I think that changed me. Some years back, probably 2 or 3 years back, I had to ask that question about what he felt about me in the first few years of marriage. And it's true, we need to be very real to ourselves. We need to have those vulnerable conversations. I think that's what love is about. Love is vulnerability. Love is when you know you're not perfect and you let the other person know you're not perfect. Don't try to shield your imperfection in a false hope or false form of perfection. And I asked him, I said, I kind of felt like I was different earlier in the marriage. And he said, yes. He felt, he could see me holding back. He could see me trying my best not to give everything. Like I was so scared. There must have been something in my past that wanted me to shield some part of my heart so that nobody could break it. I think when you give everything to God, it's easier for Him to take care of it. When you hold back, you don't get everything you need from Him.
I agree.
So at that point, he says that was where he had to exercise patience and just hope that by showing all the love and how much he was ready to make it work, I would change. And I want to say that it's something in my own personal time I can boast of, or in my space I can boast of and say, yes, I have let go and let God. What is in your hand? If you don't give it out, it doesn't multiply. If I didn't release, I kept holding that some part, 50%. You know, say 80%.
Yeah, say that a lot.
Release it. I feel 2 people go into marriage wanting it to work. Other things, factors come in to distract and to choke up and to influence it, like ego, like unforgiveness, like external influences from around you, friends, family. But we need to understand that, first of all, those 2 people came in wanting to make it work. I don't think anybody goes down the aisle wanting to just get divorced or separated in 2 years. I think people actually want to make it work. That's what you should first ask your partner. How badly do you want this to work?
Wow.
You need to want it to work more than you want it to fail. If he can or she can want it to work a little bit more than wanting it to fail, the marriage has hope, the marriage has a chance.
Wow. I think I'm taking that home. The 2 partners must want it to work. I mean, and that question, you should ask your partner, how bad do you want this to work? I think it's very key. Okay, so we just have a few minutes to run. Thank you very much, oh God, for coming. But before we run, what do you want to say to someone out there who's thinking love is a thing of the past, or there's no real love? And I have a good number of people who would say, well, I don't want to get married. You know, hearing all the stories. Do you know how many married men call me? Do you know blah blah? And they're like, I just want a child. Well, I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to sleep around. I'll get an IVF. You know, get my child, and I'm done. You know. So, what would you say to them?
Okay. I would just like to say that love is possible. Marriages and relationships do work, but you have to start with yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. And please, there are good men out there just like there are good women. I know a lot of other people who can testify about their own marriages. I have seen it all around me. I mean, I am enveloped left, right, and center by great marriages and great relationships. Everything was hinged on selflessness and God. Now, another thing I would like to say is, please don't be deterred by your past. It's never a one fits all scenario. So you could have had a bad example or a bad past or a bad childhood. It doesn't matter whether your childhood was perfect or it was imperfect. The job and the work starts with you. Yeah. Please give it a chance. I was lucky enough to find a man who was patient with me to give me a chance. But I also had to do a little bit of work by myself, understanding God, working closely with Him, and listening to the voice that said, you only get what you want. You only ask, or you only receive what you ask. I wanted a good marriage, and I really, really pressed in for that kind of marriage, you know. And that is really what I want to let people know today. In this season of love, it's okay to be a romantic, the fanfare, the activity, but it really is about the heart. What is it you want, and how is it you want to get there? We only become who we are and who we think we are. What you attract, what you think is what you attract.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. You know, while you were talking, it just, you know, I heard it very clear, you know, by the grace of God, I have a very good relationship with the Holy Spirit. That guy, I can't do without him, you know, and that someone is watching and asking and saying, but I also prayed, and I'm living a very good Christian life. I believe God. I believe that God has been leading me, but I've not found Him. And maybe there's also someone who's been married before and is divorced. And they've decided that, you know, they've just made up, their minds are set, or like the Bible says, they are set in their ways now, you know, this is it. You know, I just want to say that sometimes we don't get the whole picture. Sometimes we don't understand why God does what He does, you know. And I think my pastor has said that before, that if you can totally understand God, then He's no more God, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need to trust that He's working something out for you. And like the Bible says, His works, His love for you, or His works for you are for good and not of evil, right? So right now you might not get the picture, but if you hold on and continue to believe Him, I promise you, you surely have a testimony, and you smile and laugh in the end. And we'll all smile with you. So please, use the comment box. Let's hear your story. What do you think about how good Cynthia's love is? She didn't tell you that part. Some things she told me, but I mean, that's okay. Cynthia, thank you very much for coming. Before you run, we have this little Valentine gift for you that we would like to give to you. Yes. I would like to open it so people would see. It's in a box. I wish it was a red box. Oh, but it's okay. So it's a girl talk mug. I hear it's a magic mug until you put in hot water and then it pops up.
I love this. Kids love it.
Yes, they do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming. I really do appreciate it. You should know that I just put it up on my status, and Cynthia was like, she's going to come. So we're going to have more of her. You know, I would really love to. And personally, I want to make her my friend. Who agrees? I agree. If you agree with I want to make her better, closer.
I'm way ahead of you.
Yes, you know. So thank you very much again. Thank you guys for holding up this long. So we have another person who's going to be with us here. So while we're thinking about how good love is, we also do not want to make light the fact that there are women who are going through, or who have gone through, tough times. So please, it's going to be in the next video. Just to ensure you see it, I would make sure to add the link to that video here. We want to give women the opportunity to speak up, let them know that there are other women out there who are living, who have gone through the challenges that they are going through or they have been through. Possibly we want to show them the lives of women who've gone through what they've been through or what they're going through and how God has helped them, survive and advance. So don't go away. It's still Girl Talk from the kitchen, and I am SW Jace. This is Valentine special, EJ Love. It was Cynthia's love story. I'll be with you again in the next video. Don't go away. Bye. Welcome back. Yes, so if you're just joining, this is SWJs and we're on Girl Talk from the kitchen. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you haven't. You want to be the very first to get a notification whenever we come online. Yes, so this is Valentine's special, and on today's program we had EJ Love with Cynthia Yinkere, where we shared her very sweet love experience. However, I was saying in that video that we will not, give a blind eye to women who are going through or who have gone through some tough love experiences. And on this program, we have someone who has gone through a lot for love. However, my friends, she is happy and blessed with beautiful children who are doing really well. So you'll be hearing from Miss Roseline as she talks to us about her life experience. Now, this is the whole trick, guys. We're not saying that love isn't good, because of course we know that love is good. However, we want to see how we can support Miss Roseline and ensure that we give her a voice, get free counseling for her, and get her established in the business of her choice. So you want to use the comment box if you would like to be of support to Miss Roseline, and let's know what you think. Thank you very much. So we'll be right back. When we come back, you'll hear from Miss Roseline. Stay with me. Welcome back. Now, if you're just joining, we're at that time that we need to listen to Miss Roseline as she talks about her own love experience. Yes, Miss Roseline, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so my viewers would like to know who you are and what you do.
My name is Roseline, Mrs. Roseline. I'm from Kwara State. Actually, I started after my diploma in ABU Zaria. My parents were staying in Kaduna also. That is where I met my love. Actually, we started with, not because of money, because I don't believe that money is everything in marriage. I started with him. He was even skirting with a friend. That was when we started our relationship. Along the line, I was doing well. Then I rented an apartment. They now came and meet me there. That is how we started. Then before you know, we were planning for marriage, and in which my late mom, now may her soul rest in perfect peace. 80% of the marriage, I believe my parents did everything, especially my mom. So we started like that, like play, like, okay, let's see the future. That future is going to be bright. I said, okay. We started, I gave birth to my first son in a shop in Kaduna that there's no window. Even to talk to my friends or family and say, this is what I'm passing through, you not hear he died from me. That is me for you. Even when my parents came right from Kwara State and came to Kaduna for the naming ceremony after my wedding, they were asking, take us to your house now. I said, Mommy, Daddy, this is my house now. I said, this shop? I said, Mommy, this is just the beginning of our life now. This is morning, and we have afternoon, and we have evening, and I'm praying for a better future in my marriage. So along the line, even to eat 3 square meal is very difficult, and I will not even call. There was no phone. Even if I pay a visit to my sisters that is living in Kaduna also, that is where we met each other, I will never utter anyone, either have eaten or have not eaten. That's how with the pregnancy. I'm the quiet type, I'm not the talking type. So that's how we started. He also fell with me that how can he keep a woman at home without feeding her properly 3 square meals as even a pregnant woman. I started, I don't quarrel with him. The love is there, that's why there's no money. The love is there, that's why there's no money. After putting to bed for my first son, 3 days to the naming ceremony, even before then, we will be planning. I said, if labor started now, how are we going to do it? Who's going to pay for hospital bill and the rest? I do think over it, but I'm a child of God. I'm a well-devoted Christian. I gave my life to Christ. So along the line, on a good day, that is how the labor started. When I went for evening service, labor started like joke. Before I know, there's another woman sitting beside me. I said, Mama, it's like I want to give birth to. He said, Iyawo, let's go to the hospital. Right inside me, I said, if I should go to hospital, who will pay the hospital bill? Will I run around to my sister to come and pay? And whereas I know that my husband is not having enough money, lo and behold, God is faithful. I put to bed in the church evening service. Without injection, nothing. Even when they called my husband and said, your wife has put to bed, he was surprised. He started sharing tears of joy. He was even asking me, am I okay? I said, 100% okay. There's nothing wrong with me. We went down home. A home. No window, nothing. That is how I started. 3 days to the naming ceremony. Yoruba say, come and do naming, this. As if he did ritual. I saw him with a mattress and a new television, as if my own parents did not have such a thing before I got married. I said, have you joined ritualists? He said, no, it's God doing no. Like that. That is how we started. Inside that same shop there. Along the line, he said, okay, let's change environments because of Sharia in Kaduna. So now relocated to Nasarawa. Let me say Abuja rather, via Abuja. So we started our life again in a room. We started without money, but I'm happy, the joy is there. So all of a sudden, my next door neighbor called me one day. He said, Iyawo, I will have to tell you something, that your husband is cheating on you. I said, never. My husband cannot cheat on me. I know him very well. I said, he can't cheat on me. He said, I don't want to destroy your home, but that is the only thing I will tell you. It's okay, no problem. So he started giving me an excuses. There's a contract given to him in social place, and he would like to spend a month there. So me, if I said I love somebody, I am in love with him. In fact, there's nothing you can tell me about my husband that will make me to believe. So, and I keep on praying. I'll be praying, God, that contract, let it come to pass. God, big money, small work, release to my husband, day in and night, I'll be praying. Never knew that the man is cheating on me. Even when I gave birth to my second born in Kaduna, in Abuja, the third one, the fourth one, people started calling me, this is what is happening in your marriage. Be careful, be prayerful. And I said that even if I call my husband on phone, he will not pick the call. Rather, a lady will be picking the call and say, who are you? I say, instead of me to ask you, who are you? You are asking me, who am I? Say, okay, no problem. And if the man comes back home, anytime you feel like coming back home, it's not that I'm making proud of myself. I know myself. I'm a submissive woman. Very humble, caring, loving. On my knee, despite 1 week, 2 months, I did not see him. I will still welcome him and say, come, welcome there. Serve him his delicious food, do all kind of, even if he did not give me money, I will make sure there's food on the table for him. That's how we started. So God started blessing him. Gradually. So when I keep on complaining to his parents and say, this is what my husband is doing, it's not more passing the night at home. They say, I should keep on enduring. That's how home is. I said, okay, no problem. I keep on dying in silence. Then, even if the younger one, the family, they love me very well. Especially the siblings and the nephews and so on like that. They love me. One even advised me that Auntie, you are not in marriage. Is it not better you quit this marriage? She even took me to court that I should go and divorce his brother, that this is not marriage. A marriage is when husband and wife live together, seek their opinion together, but my own case is quite different. I said, okay, I've given birth to 4 children. Where will I run to?
Where would I run to?
I said, where will I run to? Where will I start from? I said, no, this marriage is for better, for worse. No matter how the case may be, I will be in that marriage. So my children, I put them in the way of the Lord. They have, the 4 of them, they have the fear of God, and they are serving God very well. They have the fear of God, and they are serving the God very well. And God has been on our side. Even when they gain admission, I find it difficult to pay their school fees. Then I was working. Even both parents, husband and wife, if they are together, I believe there will still a time that they will be looking for money. Talk more of only one person to be taking care of 4 children. I find it so difficult when I lost my job. So before then, he took the lady down to the house he built.
Okay, so sorry, mommy, to cut you. I just want my viewers to be very clear. So when she said he took the lady, she's trying to say that the other lady that came in, that the husband got distracted with. Now that's the lady she's talking about. So he took her in.
Yeah.
Okay, into your
matrimonial home,
where you lived with your children.
Yes.
Okay.
That is where they build the house. We are the owner of the house. So the lady spent 2 years, 2 months. That 2 years, 2 months is like 202 years and 2 months for me. It was her. I look at myself, I say, I never knew that I would be in this type of shoe. The lady was treating me the way I did not like. In fact, it took all attention on my husband, to the extent if I want to enter my husband's room, I have to be knocking. I have to knock. I say, who is there? If I say I'm the one, I say, I'm busy with my wife. So I keep on crying.
Sorry. I need to get it clear. So when you, the wife who he married, knocks on the door, he tells you, I'm busy with my wife.
Yes. He will ask me, who are you? When I say I'm your wife, he said, I'm busy with my wife. Okay,
now let me ask, was there a wedding, proper marriage between both of you?
Yeah, he took me to Hotta. Okay. That was 1997.
Okay. And then this girl, this woman, this other woman we're talking about, was there a proper wedding?
Not at all.
You can continue.
So that's how we started with the strange, let me call her strange woman, because that's how my pastor said she's a total strange woman. So the problem keep on increasing day by day. And I now noticed that the very months that the lady stepped into that home, there was no peace. One, my husband's job, he lost it, up to date. Nothing for him again. So and I thought about it very well that this girl is having bad leg in this house. Now, how will she live? She told me one day that either I like it or not, he has come to stay and he will stay forever until he dies, until she dies. That nothing will separate him. We separate her with my husband. So my people, that is when I now talk to my people that this is what I'm passing through. And I don't have mother to even encourage me. So I keep on encouraging myself, and I soak myself with the blood of Jesus. I look unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of my faith. I said, okay, what about if I'm a widow? Won't I take care of my children? I will. So even in the church, when they were calling widow, at times I feel like going out because I'm more or less like a widow.
Mommy, I'm sorry to laugh, but I think that I was going to say that that's what you had to do to survive. You had to tell yourself that you were alone, even though you were in his house.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to take care of your children. Since he had decided to not do what he's supposed to do, you had to take it upon yourself. And that's acting like you were a widow, even though he was alive.
Yeah. Okay. So most of the time I called myself partial widow. Because when they say husband and wife stays together, my own case is the reverse. I only stay with my children. They are making me happy. But one thing that I lost in marriage, companionship, is not there. There's a length that children will grow. By the time at the time they start growing, I can see that all of them, they are no more with me except the small kids. So only me now in this house. But I keep on encouraging myself that it will be better one day, that my children will wipe away my tears. That my children will wipe away my tears. So the marriage is not what I planned for in my home, in my life, because at times I look at myself and say, why is it that I did not even useless myself when I was single? So that when I got married, when I'm facing these challenges, I'll say, okay, it's what I reap that I'm sowing. That okay, it's what I reap that I'm sowing, but I keep on keeping myself till that day, and look at what the man use and pay me back when the money start coming. But along the line, there's nothing for him, absolutely nothing for him for now. It's not working. It's even the lady that I had that is taking care of him also. So as the lady is taking care of his own children, our own children, I'm taking care of my own children again. And that last, if not because of COVID-19 that I lost my job, at least I was doing well with my children. But for now, since last year, I must be frank, there's nothing to eat. It's problem to take care of my children that were in high institution. It's even a problem to me also.
Okay, you heard from Mrs. Roseline. I think that it's almost normal. It's becoming a normal thing for, like she said, she wished, in quote, that she would have lived a wayward, she wished she lived a wayward life in the past so that she would feel some kind of entitlement to the problem that she's in at the moment. And I think that's something that lots of women do. And we addressed that last year, EJ Love last year, when we said women who decide to stay chaste end up sad and depressed because they feel that, why didn't I just live my life anyhow? And so that when things are thrown at me, when life hits me hard, I will justify that, okay, I was the one that brought it upon myself. But have you thought about this? What if God had a better plan? What if God had something He was cooking? What if your story was supposed to be someone's fire to their destiny? We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Alright, welcome back. Thank you very much for choosing to join us this long. We're still on EJ Love on our Valentine special in 2021. And on this program, here with me in the studio is Miss Roseline, mother of some beautiful children, and she is single. You've heard her story of how the husband had walked away with another woman, and she's been, by God's grace, been able to raise these children herself. Alright, so we'll be hearing from Mrs. Roseline again. Would you want me to say Mrs. Roseline or Miss Roseline? Mrs. You heard that. And now, Mommy, if you allow me, I would say that is some faith declaration, because it will be Mrs. Roseline. Yes. Okay, so we would like to know, I'd like you to tell my viewers what qualification, because you talked about the fact that you went to Zaria, University in Zaria, so we'd like to know what qualification you have. Guys, we need support for Mrs. Roseline, so we'd like to know the qualification that you have.
Yes, I did my diploma in ABU Zaria. I read purchasing and supply.
Wow. Okay, so Mommy read purchasing and supply in ABU Zaria. That explains the fact that you have worked in some hotels.
Yes, I've worked in various hotels, like Zuma Hotel in Kefi, Betochi Guest House, and the last one was Kevi Hotel.
Okay, you worked as
a receptionist.
Okay, from those hotels. What was the last time that you worked? What year? How long was it?
I was 3 years back now. Due to COVID-19, I now quitted this job.
Okay, so when you say due to COVID-19 you quitted, I'm thinking that you quitted last year.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, we can all, understand our businesses and our personal finances have been challenged due to COVID-19, and mommy is also, what she's experiencing is not so new to all of us, and so we've been sending our support to women out there, to people, to help them stand back on their feet, and I think that we'll do same for mommy. So you've heard her, she has a diploma. Do you have the certificates with you, mom?
The certificate is not right here with me due to cardinal riots when our house got burnt. So everything we lost it there.
Okay, so I mean, it's my word and mommy's word. I know that she went to the University of she went to ABU Zaria, and she read purchasing and supply. However, due to the riots in the northern part of Nigeria that we're not new to, I mean, it's no news in Nigeria, the house was burnt and she lost her certificates. So while we're looking out for a job for mommy, we should also have that behind our minds, that we need to let them know that it's just our word to theirs now. She hasn't got the physical certificate, but she's got the know-how. She's worked in different hotels, you heard her say that, and so we're looking out for something for her to do. Yes. So looking forward, what do you want to do? Do you just want to work for someone, or you have business plans? So.
Yes, I have business plan on myself, because even when I was working, I've been planning that because of my little baby that is 13 years old, because the job I was doing is one day on, one day off, and how can I leave a little girl at home like that? So I decided that after some years I will quit the job and I'll establish myself, and in which I did by having a salary, but it's not properly established. So I have dryer, only one dryer. So my intention now is to open the shop, because since I have the knowledge on
how. Okay, so you know how to do hair,
Yeah.
how to. Okay, so you've heard from mommy. We're looking out for a space. You agree, right? A shop space where she would establish a hair room. You know, making of hair, weave-ons, wigs, braiding hair, washing, setting, and all of that. So you probably have a salon somewhere, you're thinking of who to give it to, or you have a shop somewhere, or you're willing to support mommy in the way that you can. Please, we would need all the support that you can give her. Okay, you said you have a daughter who is 13 years.
Yeah, my last one.
That explains the fact that your husband has been away from you how many years?
For the past 13 years now.
For the past 13 years. So you just gave birth to the last one when?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've had, so 13 years without a man, without financial support, without certificates, thanks to the way that our country is, and without a job in the last few months, thanks to the global pandemic. We want to support mommy in the way that we can. Mommy, would you mind that we put out your account number out there for anyone who wants to support? So if you would like to support mommy with an amount of money, with a job referral, with a shop space, whatever it is, please do leave a comment below and let us know what you would do and how you would be of support to mommy. You could also use her account number or the phone number you see on your screen. Call us and we would help you, we would link you to mommy, and so you can do what God is laying upon your heart to do. Now this is it. It's always nicer and life always turns out better for you when you are the reason why someone else is smiling. What better way to live a life of influence than to be the one whom people pray, go on their knees and thank God for? I remember some years ago we had a project like this, and every time, you know, the major sponsor of the project, it was an operation, every time she told me that every time she goes on her knees to pray, she's always thankful for the people, for the person who sponsored that operation. You want to sponsor mommy in the way, nothing is too little. Don't forget, on SW, Strong Women Worldwide, you could also use the link below to go to our website. On Strong Women Worldwide this year, we have something we're running. We started this February. We call it F4W, Friday free food for 15 women. Now when we say free food, we're not talking about just giving the women raw food or cooked food. You know, you would agree with me that food nourishes your mind, your body, your skin, and even your soul. So we want to be the reason why the women can put food on their table. You want to support that, you can also visit us on our website, www.strongwomenworldwide.com, or call any of the numbers on your screen, and we would reach and connect with you. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, very quickly before we go, I have a gift for mommy. Yes, I do, like I had for Mrs. Cynthia. And also, my lovely dress was made by Hadassah Stitches. Hadassah Stitches will be in the video. Her number will be in the video, so you could call, reach out to her if you want to look this good. She made this for me for Valentine. Thank you very much, Hadassah Stitches. I'm really grateful. I know, I heard someone already told me this morning that you look good, your dress look nice. Thank you. Alright, so like I was saying, mommy is still here. Mommy, do you have final words for people, for women who probably have gone through what you're going through, or are currently going through what you're going through? How have you kept yourself sane? What has kept you? Because I know people who, what you've gone through is enough to destroy them. You know, I mean, I can't imagine what you've gone through. I mean, we've all had our share of pain and troubles, but sometimes certain people's stories just make you say, well, this is more than mine. So, mommy, what would you say to any woman out there?
Despite the pain I've gone through for the past 13 years, I do encourage my fellow women that they're still in the same shoe like I am, that they say they need divorce. I say, as far you have children, just put down, be patient, be vigilant, and be focused. And the best thing is just to give your life to Christ, because without Christ you cannot do anything. Even with the little I have, I do give my fellow women that will be complaining that my husband not give me money, I will not cook for him today. The little I have, I still give. I say, go and cook. Life is not like that, because you have children, and the children are watching over you. And I believe that there's nothing somebody sow on this side that will not reap it sooner or later.
True. Okay, so in essence, what mommy is saying is, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't think that you don't have a portion in life. God has something very good for you, young woman, old woman, young girl, whatever it is you're going through. Keep holding on and keep believing. Don't be the first to chicken out. God has plans. And if you are out already, you're divorced, or whatever situation you're in, love is real. God has someone praying and believing for you. And my prayer is He would find you in Jesus' name. Amen. So before we run, please don't forget, use the comment box. Let's know how you would love to support mommy. We would like to do this. And just so you know, so we have counseling sessions. We've secured counseling sessions for mommy. She's going to be starting this month of February with a counselor, so that would ensure that mommy is fine and ready to move on with the next phase of her life. Because I believe that she has something great ahead of her. And like my pastor would always say, when you have any trouble, the last time I had a trouble, you know what he told me? I'll tell you. He said, the best revenge is success. There's no need to start praying, oh, let them fall, let them fail. Those who have hurt me, let them know. The best revenge is success. Not to succeed to go back and tell them, you see, for leaving me, this is that. No. To succeed, to tell yourself in the mirror, the same you that you thought was less is better. And that will be your story in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much for sticking with us this long. I am Jace, and this is Girl Talk from the Kitchen. Until we meet again in March for the next program, be blessed, enjoy, and do you. Go out there and be a blessing. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.